So it's really interesting to hear Andrew Tate talk about this. Should I be happy? It's supposed to suck. I'm not supposed to be happy. When you remove these should thoughts, it is a much healthier mindset to have. And that is, albeit very slim and very limited context, tiny little clips, but this is a valuable point that Andrew Tate has made, actually. Asking if the title is a joke. Andrew Taintstain is actually right about something. He's correct about something. Has Hunter become red-pilled? Has Hunter left the right to join the left, to leave the left to join the red pill? No, don't worry. However, recently I was reviewing something involving Andrew Tate, and he said something that actually tapped in to a really valuable mindset. Now, don't get me wrong. Tate is wrong about virtually everything, and even these little bits and pieces that I'm about to show you are really only valuable with very limited context. A lot of his conclusions are still kind of ludicrous or don't really make sense. He tends to just ignore the possibility that people are neurodivergent and that it's not always easy to just jump out of your seat and go and be motivated and work super hard every single day. So some of that, I feel like, he definitely is far from a smart individual, but these clips specifically tap in to a really valuable way of thinking.
Argument, which is a level deeper, is, am I supposed to be happy? Am I supposed to feel good?
No, it's not happy.
No, of course, but this is what I don't understand about people, especially men in the world today. Why are they so worried about being afraid? Why are they so worried about, I was afraid every time I fought.
Yeah.
I fought anyway.
Yeah.
So here's another one. And you'll notice he uses the same words here.
Oh, I'm not sitting there going, how can I be happy in jail? I will sit in jail and say, yes, this sucks. It's supposed to suck. Yes, I'm not enjoying this. Yes, I'm anxious and paranoid. And yes, that guy might stab me. And yes, I can't sleep and I miss my family. And this is what's supposed to happen to me. And this is how I become the best man I can possibly be. And I'm going to sit.
Again, very, very minor clips here. I know, nothing that's very groundbreaking right on its surface. But you'll notice he said a couple different things here that's actually really valuable. One, he said, am I supposed to feel happy? And then he's talking about when he was in jail and saying, yeah, it sucks. It's supposed to suck. This is what's supposed to happen to me right now. Like, it sucks. What Tate is actually tapping into here when he talks about, are you supposed to feel happy? Is something very similar to what are called should thoughts. And a lot of people, me included, struggle with consistent should thoughts. I should be happy. I should work today. I should do these dishes. But when we say I should, that holds with it, whether we realize it or not, moral weight. So when you don't do the things that you should do, you tend to feel guilty. You tend to feel like a failure. And this is a legitimate depressive mind loop that therapists and psychologists have now drawn attention to. Yeah, Andrew Tate says a whole bunch of dumb shit. That's never going to change. But as far as this little bit here, am I supposed to feel happy? He's tapping into the should thoughts. By getting rid of these thoughts, I should feel happy, you actually open the doorway up for you to legitimately be more happy, less guilty, and live an overall more fulfilling life. Think of it this way. When, let's say you get home, okay, and your partner, your mom, whatever, somebody tells you, hey, you should go do the dishes. What does that make you want to do? Doesn't it kind of just make you not want to do that? I know that's how it is for me sometimes. Even if I'm already planning on doing the dishes. If someone's like, hey, you should really do the dishes, I'm going to be like, yeah, nah, I don't want to do the dishes. But yet we think to ourselves, I should do the dishes all the time. We are subconsciously setting ourselves up when you think that way to be resistant towards doing the things that you have now trained yourself that you should be doing. So it's really interesting to hear Andrew Tate talk about this. Should I be happy? It's supposed to suck. I'm not supposed to be happy. When you remove these should thoughts, it is a much healthier mindset to have. And that is, albeit very slim and very limited context, tiny little clips, but this is a valuable point that Andrew Tate has made, actually. So here's a little website that goes into more about these should statements and how to reframe them. A deceptively impactful word we often use is should. If you are like many people, you have found yourself thinking or saying some should statements in your life. I should go to the gym, or I shouldn't work so much. I should get more sleep, or I should get out of bed. In cognitive behavioral therapy, these kinds of should statements are called cognitive distortions. This is a fancy way of saying they are a faulty thinking pattern that we believe to be true. Sometimes we learn them in childhood or develop those patterns because of external and societal pressures. Sometimes we create them because of trauma we've experienced. And it's interesting for me personally, since I struggle a lot with should statements and should thoughts specifically, this goes hand in hand with religion, because religion is all about what you should do. And religion is all about the rules that you should follow. You are raised pretty much immediately within religion to adapt to should thoughts and should statements. Religion is all about what you should and shouldn't do. Have the should thoughts been proven to be negative and subconsciously set up negatives? Well, yeah, I mean, they're cognitive distortions. So if you're not thinking rationally and your thinking is distorted, then you are inevitably going to set yourself up for failure. Yeah, of course. The implicit message of should statements is the opposite of what is said on the surface of the statement. If I say I should go to the gym, the unsaid message is, but I'm not. I shouldn't feel this way, but I do. I should have known better, but I didn't, and so on. These silent yet primary messages we get from should statements tend to reinforce the idea that we are failing. Should statements set an expectation without clearly defining it nor setting manageable steps to achieve it, which sets us up to fail. When we continually do not meet our expectations, explicit or implicit, we may incur a constant feeling of guilt or that we have done something bad. There are some good ways that you can replace these should statements. Anecdotally, I've noticed in my own life when I try not to think with should statements, I do feel a lot more receptive to getting work done and stuff. I don't feel like a fucking lazy failure because I should have been cleaning up, but I wasn't. So you can replace it. Replace the word should with could. For example, I shouldn't spend so much time on Instagram can be softened with I could spend less time on Instagram. Or I would like to spend less time on Instagram. Both options are more encouraging and may reduce the guilt and shame that should statements can induce. So it's really, really interesting to think about this and to think about how consistently you might use should statements in your own life, in your own head, and how you talk to yourself. Because it's really easy to forget the way that we think can directly impact the way that we act and feel in our day-to-day life. I know that sounds like such an obvious, like, duh, no shit, Sherlock, but yet I know, at least for me, I tend to forget that. What you're thinking in your head constantly is not isolated purely to your head. It can very well manifest in your behavior and how you might feel. So again, even if it doesn't manifest in behavior, you might just feel guilty and like shit a lot. So long story short, when we hear Andrew Tate go into this, am I supposed to feel happy, or it's supposed to suck, I'm not supposed to feel this way, as dumb as the guy might be overall, he's tapped into a proper form of thinking as far as avoiding should, I'm supposed to, those kinds of statements. He seems to have figured out a way, whether purposely or just maybe he was raised this way, I don't know, but he seems to have figured out a way to avoid that cognitive distortion, although he seems to have plenty of other cognitive distortions, if we really are being honest. That is just a little bit where I think that Andrew Tate had a good point. But other than that, yeah, he's still a total taint stain. Don't worry, okay?